what's up? So this one's called "The Devil is in the Details." I just learned an important lesson. So that means that it's the details are important essentially, and it's like if you miss things, it's a big deal, even though it could be a very small detail. It's kind of like making a recipe. You can have all the ingredients and you might know even the right temperature to say bake something at, but if you combine them in the wrong order, well, you're going to end up with something that is that might be unusable to you, right? So I mean, it's everything, every little step of a process, every bit of part of the process is important, every detail, right? And so here I am, doing my thing. I'm doing all right, I'm getting there anyways. But at times I get caught up in stuff and I lose track of certain details that I don't know. They just kind of, I'm not focusing on those things because I'm focusing on other things. And then but then eventually I'm in a process of refinement. So specifically right now I'm talking about diet. And so I am on this journey on a raw food diet. I'm really looking to embrace this. I mean, it's taking, there's a learning curve, it's something that has to be done intelligently, like anything, right? But I mean, it is certainly when you're making a big dietary change and something that's challenging, it's a bit, right? So the thing is, I've made a couple videos and it's not on purpose, right? It's only because I'm getting ready for work, but I'd be sitting here and I'd be drinking this smoothie. Right? Seems all good, right? I'm on a raw vegan diet. I mean, I still eat a little cooked food at the moment, but that may come to a stop. But I would just say that so I've been making these smoothies. So I would put some bananas, I would do one banana because I don't like it to be too sweet. And then I would put strawberries, blueberries, kind of things, maybe a little bit of coconut yogurt or in the blender thingy. And then I would put in a scoop of a protein powder. So I have a raw vegan organic, it's called Garden of Life, all-in-one shake. It's a protein powder. And then I mix extra chlorella and spirulina in there and make my own blend. And then I mix hemp in there as well. So it's like a fortified protein powder that has every berry and root and green and compound, organic plant-based compound that you can think of that contributes to health and well-being and stuff like that, micronutrients and all that kind of stuff. So it's I like having that concoction. But here's the thing, fruit, and I'd noticed it's that when I was having bowel movements, they're okay, right? But not 100%. And it's okay, what am I doing wrong, right? And it's it took a minute. It took a minute for me to get to a point where it's okay, where I've taken enough things off my plate where I'm starting to focus on things. It's okay, I have time to focus on that now. It's okay, what is it that is going on? I'm doing something wrong. And it's this. Anyways, food combining. So proteins do not mix with fruits. That is a terrible a very poor combinations. It says here, so I've paid attention to this and then stepped away, back and forth, but here I am again. This is in my own personal little folder here of things that I know to be important, that I have, like the dirty dozen and the clean 15. So I make sure that, things to always buy organic and things that don't necessarily need to be organic. Here we are on page, that's my meal plan there, so that I am eating like how I like to eat, and a good variety of stuff. But then this one here, it's just like, eating things like beans with avocado, poor, as it shows on here. But beans with something like some steamed chard or something like that, good. Like, I think that different people feel different ways about this, but it's like, for myself, and I know other people like this too, that it's like when you really narrow down your diet and there's not much that you're doing that could be wrong, it's not what I'm eating at this point, it's how I'm eating it, it's how I'm preparing it, and it is not working for me. It has not been working for me to be putting protein powder inside of a smoothie. That it was in the moment that I stopped doing that, of course, then you're not putting this mixture of stuff into your body that your body then has to work extra hard to deal with, and it's a compromise. So then you have essentially partially digested stuff because your stomach has to deal with this stuff before it puts it into your intestines or whatever. And so it's this huge compromise because you're eating all of these dissimilar things. There's like pH and this and blah 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 enzymes and stuff in your body. And that's the thing, for me, that's the beauty of eating very simply, and kind of this path that I'm on, is that because I'm eating so clean, I'm able to identify stuff like this, and it was just like, oh, right, I can't believe I forgot that. And I think because if your diet is so varied anyways, then this kind of stuff, it's like, I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter, but it's like, it's not as I don't know if it's not as big of a deal, because how could a detail like this not be? But it's like, if you're already eating a bunch of crap for what it's worth, then how do these like minor details factor into it? Because if you're eating fried foods, if you're eating other things that are not ideal for your body, animal products, like if you're eating, if you're doing all that kind of stuff, then you don't even care about stuff like this. You're not trying to have I think in Germany, or in German, it's called the Königscheiße, the king's poop, where it's like when you go to the bathroom, it's like you sit down, it just comes out, and then when you wipe, there's like literally nothing there. There's not this stuff that comes out of you like a tar, that is like a paste. It's not like that. It comes through you formed. If it's coming out and it stinks, that's a problem. Like you have to pay attention to the color of it, the smell of it, and like, does it come out in tiny little pieces, or is it like a slop, a slurry? That all of that kind of stuff tells you about your diet. And the thing too is like, if that stuff is coming out, if there's a sludge coming out of you, what do you think your insides look like? Because it's like, if that's what's coming through you bit by bit, and also to do, it's like, does your poop float? If it does, that is oil. How oil floats on top of water. Your poop isn't supposed to float. it's supposed to sink. So it tells you something about your diet, and also how efficiently your body is using things. Because once again, it might not be that you're eating something that's not good for you, but it's how you're eating it. If you're combining two things that are good for you into something, and then taking that, and then it's coming out of you partially digested, it's not those two things, it's you who's not recognizing that these things don't go well together. They're not being because your body only has so much time, to process this stuff, to break it down. So it's like, how is it going to separate everything? How is it going to separate the fruit from the protein when you put it through a high-speed blender? I mean, it's like you have to give your body a fighting chance, so that it can do what it needs to do in the amount of time that it has allotted for these meals and stuff that we're putting into it. So yeah, I guess that's it. It just feels good to be making progress on this. And it's like, it's not just what you eat, it's what you eat, it's when you eat, it's how you eat it, it's what you eat it with, it's why you're eating it, it's the environment that you're eating it. Like if you're stressed, if you're driving down the road, these are not good times. There's a lot of factors, right? And it all contributes. Some of them clearly more important than others, and it's very easy to find this chart, this food combining chart. This is the favorite one that I've ever found on the internet. I made a friend recently, and because there's a few of them out there, and he had the exact same one. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's good. If he's got the same chart, because out of all of them, this one is the best. And so you have to be, weary or careful with like the abundance of information that there is available on the internet regarding health and stuff like that. And you might think that some of this is like quackery or whatever, right? But I mean, it is something that I have come back to and am finding great. It's working. So, and it makes sense. And so that's it.